everybody, this is DearMamaSal and welcome to our broadcast. Today we're going to be talking about awareness. For those of you who might be new, welcome to the show. We broadcast 3 times a week, twice on a Friday. We do 12 noon Pacific time, which is now, and then again at 7 Pacific time, 7 in the evening, and then again on Sundays at 3:30. And what we do is we come here and we talk about various things that happen. The whole concept is to talk about real life things happening every day and to show people how these things are significant and how to deal with them, how everybody suffers from stress. We just deal with it in different ways, how everybody has some level of anxiety, but they overcome it. And hopefully by doing things like that, that we can show people that you can actually increase what we call your emotional intelligence and have a happier life if you choose to do so. Hi, Jody. The reality of it all is that you need to be really aware. And I thought I'd give you a couple of examples from my own life this week that will show you about why it's important to be aware. For those of you who don't know, I'm in the process of selling my home. And I had a second showing of my house, and I was told that the buyer was really, really interested and, would buy it immediately, but he needed his wife to see it first. And so his wife came to see it Wednesday. And I still haven't heard anything, which is not a good sign, right? So I'm still waiting to hear officially what's going on. But, if the wife was very gung-ho about it, I think I would have heard by now. So yet again, take a deep breath and move on. But it doesn't mean that it's all over. But what I wanted to show you was what else happened in my life this week. Out of nowhere, other than maybe old age, I couldn't get my driver's side door to open. I have one of those automatic clicker things that opens up my door, and it makes this very strange sound, but doesn't open the door. And when I first did it, I thought, oh, that's weird. What's a weird sound? But realized the door didn't open. I went, okay, fine. This is the time when, instead of getting all stressed out, you get grateful that there are 3 other doors. Does that make sense? My next thought was, phew, thank goodness I could have actually 5 doors if I count the back one. I've got a big Jeep, so I've got a big lift back at the back if I really needed it. But, I was very grateful for the fact that I had 3 other doors. Now, the problem was that the key entry into my driver's side door was messed up many years ago by somebody trying to steal my car. And they actually just broke something in the lock of my car. So I've never been able to use my key entry into that door, which means the only way in was to go around and climb across and get to the driver's seat. Now, as you can probably imagine at my age, that's not easy to do. But it's all about your life, right? Can you overcome the obstacles in front of you so you can get to where you want to go? And I assure you that I wanted to get home badly enough to be able to climb across the shift area to be able to get into the driver's seat. It then struck me, once I was in the driver's seat, that I did the door open with the door handle, and it did. So I went, okay, fine, that's the easier way. Next time I'm going to lean across and just open the door handle, not climb across. So as you can tell, it was an interesting time, but I thought, can you see that let me try and word this a different way for you. A car, what does that mean in your life? Now, for me, I don't know what a car means to you, but to me, a car is my freedom, my ability to go when I want to go where I want to go, and not be limited. And so to me, I know what my car is to me. It's my freedom. Hi, Shalina, good to see you. And so when you look at it, what was happening in real life was that my ability to go and do things in the moment was being hampered by the driver's door not working. Does that make sense? And I was aware of that. And I tried to look back in my life and go, where is my life being, my freedom being curtailed at the moment? And I realized that because of having to keep the house so tidy for showings and things, I just wasn't doing enough artwork, to keep myself balanced. I'm doing really well on my emotional intelligence and keeping control of the stress. But it's just like, I'm not doing the fun stuff, which is mud pies, making a mess, doing things like that. And so I smiled. Now, obviously, I'm going to get the car in to see if they can fix it for me. And I know what they're going to say to me, Sal, it's not worth spending the money on a new door lock when you are probably going to sell it very quickly. And I'm going to, yes, it is worth it to me. So just, replace the door lock, please. Or take the one from the passenger side and put it in the driver's side, because I want the driver's side one working. How many of you relate to that one? It's just like, I don't mind if the driver's side one doesn't work, but I want I want the driver's side one to work. Anyway, so that was the start of all of this. And then within 24 hours, I guess, I had two things happen. One is I had a night with very little sleep. For good reason. And then the next night I slept 12 hours, which was awesome. I caught up on the sleep that I missed the night before. But what I did was I was aware that I had a really important dream. The whole point about being aware of what you're dreaming is what I want to demonstrate right now. When I woke up, I remembered that I, in the dream, had gone to a stadium, like a sports stadium type thing, the sort of place where you'd have a big show maybe, or, literally a sports event or something like that, an arena. And it was a big one. And I was sitting pretty high up in this arena. And as I looked in front of me and slightly to my right, I saw and Meghan, Duchess of Sussex, sitting in the next row down. So I was literally within arm's length of her. And for some reason, what I remembered when I woke up was that she and I started talking about her lawnmower. And her lawnmower was called Larry. I remember that really well. Now, the interesting thing about dreams is sometimes when you wake up, you only remember a small part of it. But I really encourage you to take note of the bits you can remember, because you'll find that as you start writing about the bits you remember, other bits will come back to you. And so what I thought I'd do is I would give you the total dream as I have remembered it. There was more to it, I'm sure, but I haven't been able to dig those bits out yet. To show you how incredibly detailed dreams can be if you bother to take the time. Now, it took me, I would think, well over an hour to get the bits out that I'm going to talk about. But what I want you to see is how relevant the bits are to what's going on in my life. All right, so the first thing was that I dreamt of a famous person, and in this case, a famous female. And what I would make you aware of is that a woman dreaming about a woman is different from a man dreaming about a woman, and a woman dreaming about a man is different from a man dreaming about a man. So just, you need to just be aware of these things. So the first thing was the significance of a woman in dreams for a woman is normally that it has to do with healing. A woman in a woman's dream is about healing to a large extent. It reflects the importance of it is in how did you see the other woman? All right. Did you see the other woman as nasty or whatever? Did you feel uncomfortable? Did you fight with her? Did you, how was that interaction and what was going on? So you need to get really, it's not just about a woman. It's like, what does this woman represent to you, the dreamer? Now, it may be completely different. I'm pretty certain that if Shalina dreamt about Meghan, Duchess of Sussex, she might have seen completely different, completely different aspects of her. But these are the ones that I saw. I saw her as an elegant woman, all right? And the interesting thing is that actually talks to, if you see elegance, then it talks about a new start, which you all know I'm about to do. I saw her as very beautiful. And that, when you look into the dream dictionaries and things, that beauty means that I am content. Even though I'm going through all this stress and upheaval, I am content, all right? So that is important. To meet a pleasant woman is a positive omen, which means good luck. All right. So, I found her more than pleasant. She and I were laughing together and we were having this big discussion about Larry, the lawnmower. I want to tell you, it was amazing. I see her as an honest woman. That's just my view of her. I think she calls it like it is in a lot of cases. And I respect her for that. And to see a woman laughing foretells happy times ahead. Bring them on. It's like, yes, please. Could we get this process moving along? I'd be happy to get back to my routine life as opposed to my the life that's teaching me to be tidy. And a beautiful woman predicts that you're going to fall in love very soon. Now, that might not be, the sort of love affair that you all want me to have, probably. But, I can fall in love with a new place, or I can fall in love with my new environment, or I can fall in love with, you understand, it's all about, it's not as specific as you might think. And by the way, a person dreaming about a celebrity is seeking inspiration. Hi, Jamie. Yeah, and the inspiration, when I looked at it, what inspiration am I looking for? It's just like, how do I sell the house, please? I'd like that inspiration. Except to be patient. And then I looked at the fact that I was in an arena. You see, then you look at the context. Where was I when all this was going on? I was in this arena and I was high up. Now, they say that being in an arena is a symbolic of an interesting time in your life. And how many of you can see what I'm going through at the moment, being taught how to be tidy and, all the bits and pieces that go on with selling your house. It really is an interesting time in my life. So I thought that was interesting as well. Far up. All right. I was high up in this arena. I was far away from the action. Now, how many of you can see that being high up and looking down on the action rather than being in the middle of it, it's about almost just spirituality. Can you see that? You're sort of up on a level and you're not being drawn into the day-to-day stuff, which I thought was interesting. Now the lawnmower. It turned out that the lawnmower was very significant. Dreaming of a lawnmower suggests that everything in your life will go well. Yay, we like that. You have an easy heart. Yes, I think at the moment I do. And maybe a gain will emerge. Isn't that amazing? All from just dreaming about, all about just dreaming from about a lawnmower. I thought that was really interesting. Just bear with me 1 second. I just need to check on something quickly. Wow, that's weird. Let me explain what I'm doing. Okay, I know what that was. Sorry, I thought it was a note from my realtor, and I just do need you to understand that I need to be aware of that because it's important. Okay, so yeah, thank you, Jody. I'm glad that you're finding it fascinating, but can you see how it all actually does link into what's going on in my life, which is the important thing? Now, the other thing was when I went back to look again, once I'd started taking all these notes and everything, I realized that I needed to be aware of, not only was Meghan Markle elegant, but what was she wearing? She was wearing a pale blue outfit, right? And so I thought, is the color blue relevant? So let me look up what the color blue is about. And it says, maybe you feel you may something that may cause offense to another. Story of my life. If you see people wearing blue outfits or garments, then this suggests that you have a need to focus on yourself and happiness going forward. All right, so I have a need to focus on myself and my happiness. All right, this is not about, will this suit anybody else? This is, will it suit me? Does that make sense? So that is what the color blue was about. Now, I remember this may not go in the right order anymore, but I remember walking away from the arena, and I was walking with another woman who was in fact an aide to Meghan Markle. And as I was walking, a man came towards me, a man that I know. And I was in a space where I didn't, I saw him and I saw him walking towards me, and I smiled and he just kept on walking. Now, again, now we've got a man coming into my dreams, and it was somebody I knew. Two important factors. So a dream where you see, and by the way, he was a white man, and I say white not to be racist, just because it's relevant. Oh, Shalina is saying, first of all, Jody said this is fascinating, but Shalina also says this is interesting. I've never taken the time to figure out my dreams. I would exit at the point where it reached unpleasant emotion. Yes, that's very, very understandable. And then when I would wake up, I want to go back and change the outcome. Yes, so, to me, don't worry about that, Shalina. As you work on your emotional intelligence, as you grow as a human, you will find that you will get more and more understanding of what's going on. So be patient with yourself. It's taken me a long time to get this far. All right, so the man. All right. So I saw this white man walking towards me as a sign that you will in the near future have a serious conversation with someone. Well, hello. Do you think that maybe selling my house is a pretty serious conversation? But maybe it's about something else. Now, the other thing is that I knew him, and he carried, but he didn't stop to talk to me. And, sometimes a man in a woman's dream is about trouble. And it's interesting because I recognized him, and then I didn't give him I didn't stop to talk to him. I just carried on walking, and so did he. And what my sense of that was that I am aware of what's going on, but I'm not being affected by it, right? I'm letting it just go by. Does that make sense? It's just like I didn't stop and get all enmeshed with stuff. This is like, okay, off you go. I see you. Hi, I see you. I'm not haven't got my head in the sand. I can see the issues that are going on around me, but I just don't want to get involved in them more than I need to. Then I remember walking up some stairs. Now then, how many of you can see, again, going up, right? not going down, but going up. Does that make sense to you? So I'm apparently about to take another step up in my life. All right. If your dream contains a set of stairs, this indicates that you're starting to move towards some clear goals. If you are climbing a set of stairs, this shows that you have made the required effort in order to succeed. Yay! Okay. Now, somewhere in here, I saw that we were on the 6th floor. Now you're saying, so what? Well, was the letter 6 important? Did you understand? This is where you look at every bit of it, like the color of the clothing, and then, you know, the situation coming towards you, but it passed you by. And now it's like, part of me went, okay, well, this is a bit like house sales. You know, I've had a couple of house sales come towards me, but they passed me by. So, you know, I can sort of see a lot of relevance to all these things. But number 6, I thought I'd have a look at that. Seeing 6 of something in your dreams may indicate your spiritual, emotional, and mental states are in perfect harmony. How about that? So the letter 6 was a good letter, apparently. I didn't know that, quite honestly. Where did I find the color, what it meant in my dream? I just Googled it. You know, Shalina, I cheat really easily. You know, I put dream, comma, color blue, and waited to see what came up. There are dream dictionaries online that you can look at, and I certainly will help you wherever I can if you want me to have a look at that. Here's the thing about numbers. When numbers appear in a dream, for a woman, this is a sign that she has become overly organized. And boy, do I feel that, right? And has made her world a difficult place in which to live. How many of you can see that just by keeping my house tidy enough to be shown at a moment's notice, you know, hinders my life? Where am I reading it from? I'm reading it from the notes that I took, Shalina. It's on my tablet. Hi, Manon. Bonsoir. Comment ça va? By the way, Manon, did you get the note that I sent you yesterday? All right, so here we are. So when numbers appear in your dream for a woman, this is a sign that you've become overly organized and made the world a difficult place to live. Of course, she has created stability for herself. How many of you know that when you are forced to live in this very tidy environment, you actually do create some level of you, because you automatically go, that doesn't belong there. I need to put it where it belongs. You thought number 6 was a bad number. Yes, maybe, but in a dream dictionary, it actually isn't. So just, I don't think, you know, Shalina, what I would encourage you to understand is nothing is inherently good or bad. It is just how you perceive it. So for some people, these situations could be very different. When you read what it's about, you're going to go, oh yeah, that applies. Yes, the 666 is not a good number, but we're talking about in a dream, people. All right, and I didn't see 666. I saw a single 6. All right. So don't go to places that you don't understand. All right. So you understand your perception is that 6 is bad. It actually isn't. All right. It's 666. So in a dream. So yeah, feel free to go and check it out. All right. So now then, so can you see that my life, I've created some sort of stability in getting everything in its right place, which took me a year, as you know. And then it says, you know, your emotional vulnerability, you've also tidied up a bit by doing that, all right? And fun and social activities and things like that. So everything has been a little bit contained. I'm not as free to do the things I used to do, right? Remember the door of my car? I can't just go at a whim anymore. I've got to think about it. And I've got to think about, did I leave the place tidy? Did I, did I remember to put all the lights on? Did I remember to do this, that, and the other? It's all a lot of thinking. All right, so now, when I was walking with this woman, she gave me a pass to go and meet Meghan Markle again. She said, I'm giving you a special pass here, like a ticket, right, to go and talk to Meghan because she wants to talk to you some more. And I went, oh, that's nice. So I tried to find out what a ticket meant. And a ticket is a symbol of traveling, a gateway to a new place and new adventures. How about that? How many of you know? By moving, I will be, meeting new people and having new adventures. Now, the strange thing was this aide not only gave me the ticket, she gave me a clump of something. And when I took it, because she gave it to me, and when I looked at it, it was a wad of money. And I don't mean a little bit. I mean, there was some serious money in that roll. And I said, what is this? Yeah, story of my life, right? I got a query. I didn't know it was money. And so the aide said to me, that is $10,000. Now, what I did was I looked up what a gift of money means. And money represents confidence, self-worth, success, or values. All right. Now, again, what do I see $10,000 as? I consider that to be a fair chunk of money. You know what I mean? That's not pocket money. That's, I could do serious things with 10 grand right now. And can you imagine how much fun I could have on Wish with 10 grand? And by the way, I do want to just give you a heads up on this one, people. I needed 2 things this week. And both of them I checked on Amazon to see how much they were. And both I then went to Wish to see how much Wish was selling it for. And Wish was literally 10 times cheaper. It was like a tenth of the price on both of them. So this is really, So, it's really important how you see things. Now, if, for example, she'd given me a penny, all right, there would have been a different feeling about it. However, I do want to tell you that I was aware that I felt uncomfortable taking the money. So we know that the money represented confidence, self-worth, success, and values. But can you see that at some level I was uncomfortable with that? There are times when my values make me uncomfortable. I know they're right for me, but people don't understand my values a lot of times, and that makes me a little uncomfortable. When people ask me to do things, and I go, I'd love to, but I'm going to say no, and then I don't give the reason. I just say I'd love to be able to do that, but I'm going to have to say no, and because I need to look after me. I just can't do everything that everybody wants me to do. I do a lot for other people, and there are days when I just need to look after me. And if you know that, for example, Saturdays are my days, wherever possible, where I do what I want to do first. Yeah, and just Jody's saying that the thing that I said some time ago now, and Jody really had an aha moment, is that no is a complete sentence. You do not need to explain the why. Yeah. Will you be there on Friday? No. You don't have to explain why. All right, Shalene is saying Wish prices are cheap, but the shipping has gone sky high. Yes, but when you look at the total package, it's still a better deal. When the one product on Amazon cost 100 and it's going to cost you 26 on Wish, you add another 10 or even 20 for shipping, you're still saving 50% more. Understand, Shalina? So you've got to look at overall, is it still a good deal? Yes, no is a complete sentence. And it's really interesting how we get caught up with this, all right? And so to me, when I looked a little bit more into, why did I feel uncomfortable with the money? Because I felt I was given it for nothing, all right? So I'm looking a bit deeper now, and I encourage you to do that. With each segment of your dream, look another step deeper. And I'm going, why did I feel uncomfortable? Well, I didn't, quite honestly, at some level, I didn't think I deserved 10 grand, that much money. And so when you understand that the money represented confidence, self-worth, success, and values, at some level, can you see that I feel a little uncomfortable with those? And, that made sense to me as well, because I could see where that was true. Now, there was another part to my dream, and this was where it gets a bit strange. Have you ever noticed that sometimes your dreams, you end up with a really strange situation going on? And I'm hoping that this will make some sense to you. I'm still on the 6th floor, and the elevator arrives. And when the doors opened, it was a filing cabinet. All right? A steel filing cabinet. Now, what, if you think about it, what do you think a filing cabinet is for? I think one of the things I always used to say to people, if you want to know what these strange things are, ask yourself, how would you describe it to a Martian, right? If a little Martian arrived and he doesn't speak English and doesn't understand a lot of the words, what would you say the use of a filing cabinet is? Let's see whether we can get some input here. Why do we have filing cabinets in our lives? And then also think about, all right, so Manon's saying it's part of an office, right? So that's part of being organized and doing business. All right, Manon, good. And why do you need a filing cabinet in an office? You see, and this is why I in a lot of cases you can work it out for yourself what the correct meaning is. Anybody? Why do you have filing cabinets in an office? Obviously, it helps keep things tidy. All right, it contains information. All right, and it contains a lot of information. And the whole thing about a filing cabinet is to get organized. Yes, thanks, Jody, is that you put things into a system whereby you can find it quickly. To me, I've always said that I think of my Manon being Manon says it's where people keep alcohol hidden. Yeah, Manon, that is your weird mind. But I understand why you said it. But, to me, a filing cabinet is about keeping things in the right order. And, most filing cabinets are alphabeticalized. It's like they get A, B, C, D, E. There's a structure to it. There's, if you want to find this piece of paper, you will look under this file. And so to me, a filing cabinet was very relevant to what's going on in my life because I have to be so incredibly organized where I don't want to be. The other thing was it was a steel filing cabinet. Now, think about that. Why is the product that it's made of important? All right? Think about that. It wasn't a wooden filing cabinet, it was a steel one. And it wasn't a flimsy steel one either. It was a really, it was like a steel lift shaft type filing cabinet. Like the drawer came out, but it was solid steel, which I thought was interesting. Yes, sturdiness, longevity, yes, not susceptible to fire. Safety. Good, Manon. Well done. You guys are getting this now, right? So the fact that it was made of steel, I looked it up, and steel said that seeing steel in dreams symbolizes toughness and strength. But you understand that this is like part of my toughness and strength at the moment is letting go. Does that make sense? I'm not allowing what is going on outside my house. It's like my realtor can't believe that I'm not contacting them 5 times a day to find out what the next thing is. Why haven't they answered us? Why it's not about that for me. It's like, that's my job is to make my house available to be seen. After that, it has nothing to do with me. It has to do with the realtors. And I've got this clear boundary now, and it's making life so much more easy. Does that make sense? So to me, it's like, okay, I've done my bit, now let them do theirs. And if they need anything from me, they'll let me know. I don't need to worry myself sick, because if they need anything, if there's another step that can happen, they're going to contact me. So why do I need to worry? Does this make sense? Now, I got into the steel filing cabinet. This is where it got really weird, people. Because at the end of it, there was a hole. So now I'm in this filing cabinet, and I'm walking along the drawer, this big drawer that I got into, and at the end of the drawer, there was a dirty great hole. And I looked down it I was very careful. I was very careful not to fall down the hole. How many of you can see a relevance here? In other words, I was aware that there was a hole, but being who I am, I wanted to see what's in the hole. Do any of you relate to that? That curiosity part of me, I needed to look into the hole. And what amazed me was that hole, I could see all the way down to all the other levels, right the way down to the start. And I wasn't sure about all of this. But what it really turned out to be, when I said, what's this hole for? And somebody said, it's a toilet. And I said, well, apparently I'm going to be in this elevator for a while. And then, it was just like, wow. And it's everybody else's toilet as well. So I better check to make sure I don't, mess on anybody when I need to do this. Now, it was really interesting. Where was the hole? The bottom, it was on the bottom of it. It was like part of the floor. There was this hole. So I didn't know that, but toilets actually are a good luck thing to be dreaming of. Now, the reason I want to say I believe that, and that's from my own experience, is, that's where you get rid of a lot of shit, right? And, the amazing thing was this was a totally clean toilet. And I thought that was interesting. And I could see all the way back down to the beginning of my ship, if you like. I could see all the way down to the bottom. And I thought, wow, that's interesting. All right, that I guess I've done enough work on myself that I have now, uncovered everything there was to uncover. Maybe not, we'll see. But also it made me aware how far up I was. All right, can you imagine looking down, and you're looking down 6 floors? In fact, it looked deeper than that, quite honestly. It looked more like 20 when I looked down. But that was another thing. But I was aware of how high I was by how far down it looked when I looked down the hole, where all the brown sticky stuff had gone. And so to me, this was a very interesting analogy. It's like, I've sorted out a lot of stuff in my life, and it's not just in my house. Part of downsizing is about cleaning up your life, right, and your mind, and realizing that you're holding on to things you don't need to hold on to. You're holding on to them for quite the wrong reasons. I'm holding on to half a mug here because somebody gave it to me 50 years ago, and I haven't seen them for the last 35 years. It's like it's no longer an important part of my life. So, or it really is an important part of my life, and I don't care what else gets thrown away. This I keep. That's the other thing that amazes me when you downsize. Some things you just know they're not important in your life. But as Mary Kondo says, some things you're going to pick up and they give you joy, keep them. Right? If it gives you joy, if it gives you really good memories to see it, then keep them. So what I want you to see is that this whole dream was very involved. By the way, I woke up before I did the rest of the journey, right? The rest of the journey, meaning I didn't make it back up to see Meghan Markle again or find out why she wanted to see me again or any of that stuff. But the interesting thing was I had a real sense of I was about to go up in the world. And, when I say go up in the world, I don't mean socially, I mean spiritually. And one of the things that I'd like you to be aware of in your dreams is, are you going up or are you going down? And I've just realized I don't have my laptop plugged in. Hold on, everybody, please. Okay. It's amazing how many times I do that. I get everything ready for the broadcast and clean forget to bring the power cord and plug it in. Life is what it is. Okay, thank you for your patience on that one. So, what I want you to do is to be more aware. Did anything, and Jody, I think back to that day where, you were waiting for your van to come pick you up and take you to an appointment, and the van didn't turn up. Right. Now think about that. What is a van? What is a car? It's about freedom. It's getting you from point A to point B, all that stuff. But it didn't arrive that day. And then what happened was you turned around and found a kitten that was at risk of its life. All right. And I know that you worked it out, that part of the reason that you didn't go that day was so you could save the kitten. But you might want to also check, and I haven't done that. Maybe I should do that. And, let me try that very quickly. Because what I want you to be aware of is almost everything in your life has some meaning. I'm just looking at kitten in a dream. All right. Oops, that didn't work very well. Oops, if you spell it correctly, so. Dreams about kittens may reveal your childish and immature nature. Maybe you have a childlike approach towards solving problems. In dreams, kittens might also symbolize women in your life and your feminine side. All right? They also symbolize womanly intuition, independence, and originality. So you see, Jody, if you look at it, did it have meaning that day? Can you now see that it wasn't just that you had to be patient, but you needed to not go for that appointment so you could save a kitten, but the kitten itself would have connection as well. And I think, that is what I find so fascinating. And not that I spend a lot of time doing this, but when I have a dream that was obviously as important as this one, it's worth taking the time to have a look at the different aspects. Now, I would say overall, it was a pretty good dream. What do you think? Because it looked at all different parts of my life. It looked at my spirituality. It looked at my business side, what was going on, in terms of the house and everything. And it looked at, people, trouble coming towards me, but I was just letting it go by, and, all sorts of bits to it. So I would encourage you to, so many points of relevance in your dream. Yeah, Jody, you're right. But say I just woke up and said, okay, fine, I dreamt about Meghan Markle. Yeah. So what? Yeah, and get on with my day. You see, I would have missed all the other bits because it was only when I started I literally called up a Google sheet, in the cloud, and I started to write the one, what do I remember? I remember Meghan Markle. That was really the keystone to it all. And then the next thing I wrote down was that she was a female in my dream, because I know that it is important whether you're seeing males or females, and it's important whether you are a male or a female. So, when I Googled that, I would Google female in a female dream. All right. Then I was in an arena. Now, think about that. If you try to describe an arena to a Martian, this is an arena. Well, what's that? Well, what is an arena? Arena is a place where a lot of people come together. Right? Normally for an event of some sort, either a performance or entertainment or sports. All right. And so that's what I thought about. And then I looked about, where was I in that arena? Was I down at the field level, or was I up in nosebleed alley, as they call it? Was I high up, or was I midway, or was I down on the field? I was about 3/4 of the way up, I would be my sense. And obviously, there were important people with me at that level. I like that. I tried to find out what sitting behind somebody meant. I didn't get the answer to that. So if anybody finds the answer to that, let me know. But, the fact that I was sitting just behind her, but within arm's length of her, she was that close that I could literally talk to her without too much effort. And then again, remember, I really looked at what was she doing? Was she upset that I was in her space? No, she was laughing at me and saying, "Hey, Sal, you'll never believe what Larry did." And I said, "Wait a minute, isn't Larry your lawnmower?" And for some reason, I instinctively knew that Larry was her lawnmower. Don't ask me how I knew that, but I did. And she said, "Right." And she was telling me, I can't remember what she said about Larry, but except that he was fun to use. And it reminded me a bit about my robot cleaner, Clarence, that sort of feeling, where she really enjoyed having Larry in her life, the lawnmower. And so I thought, well, interesting, I've never, ever dreamt of a lawnmower before. I wonder what that is about. So I Googled lawnmower in dreams, or dream, lawnmower. And that's how I found out what that was about. So do you understand? It took a lot of time to analyze all the different parts. But was it worth it? That would be my question to you. Do you want to spend a bit of time looking at what your subconscious mind is trying to tell you? I often tell people that I imagine my mind to be a big library. And I've got a librarian in my mind I call Jones. And every night he takes all the information that he's got and tries to file it away in different filing cabinets. And every now and then he comes back and goes, where do I put this? Where do you want me to store this? And so sometimes you will have a dream about something that you touched or saw during the day. And that's really, I call my librarian Jones, and it's really just Jones saying, hey, where do you want me to put this? And was it significant? And it's amazing how many times that one item comes back in your dream. And I always wondered, why did that particular thing come back to me? And I will go and check out what does it mean in a dream. The fact that I saw it in real life is important, and it was important enough that it came back in a dream. Do you understand? So now I want to know, what does that signify? So this in itself could be a lifelong learning skill, and I said when I thought about actually talking about this, and I discussed it with Jody and Lauren, whether I should actually talk about the dream and whether I should do it at the lunchtime broadcast, which is normally our skills broadcast. Do you understand that it does take some level of skill to analyze the dream? All right. You need to not jump to conclusions that you know that number 6 is bad. It actually isn't. For example, how many of you would have thought a toilet was a negative thing? And it isn't. And so, it's really important that you don't presume that you know. Check it out, because there's an awful. I love today's technology. You don't have to go out and buy a book. You just have to go to Mr. Google and say, excuse me, can you please just answer this question for me? And so so Manon saying that she would have thought that the toilet was a bad thing, yes. But when you think about it, it's really interesting, and I don't want this to be too much information, as they say, but, I've been aware that I have been trying to flush out my system recently, as Jody knows, because we've been talking about the health side of things. And, so I'm looking at it all and I'm going, this is really interesting to me that all these things are happening in my real life and in my dream life. Can you see that there are correlations going on? There are things dovetailing together. So does that mean I'm going to be selling my house soon? Maybe. And what is soon? Who knows? Soon will be when it is. I thought the fact that I could see this man approaching was interesting, all right? So there's stuff coming, and I'm thinking, was that my brother arriving? That could be potential stress for me. But I just let the stress walk on by. I didn't get tied into it. And so what I decided to do, you think I've lost some weight? Really, where do you see that? That's Manon talking. That's interesting. Where do you see that, Manon? Or are you asking, have I lost some? I am constantly losing weight. The issue is, do I put it back on again? In answer to your question, yes, I have actually. But I just wondered whether you thought you could see that or whether you just were asking out of interest. Let me see if I can show you here. Oops. Because it's really you can see it in my face. That beautiful face, right? Hang on one second. Let me see if I can find it for you. Because what is interesting, Manon, is that I'm doing a yo-yo here. Oops. And let me get a pen here. Okay, so this was my high point in December. And as you can see, I dropped, put some back on again, and I'm in the process of dropping again. Oh, wrong way around. Sorry, I'm on the other side, right? I'm over here. Sorry, so this is where I went up, and then this was December, and then I came down, I went up, came down, went up, came down, But what I will say is that I can feel that what I am doing is very different. Manon, I found that trying to control my carbs worked a little bit for me, but not enough. I then said, there must be another way to do this that will be easier for me. What I realized is something that Jody was talking about some time ago, which is, we each need to find our own way of doing things, right? I used to say to people, your speed is the right speed for you. So there isn't a right way. Just hold on 1 second, please. Hello. Sorry, guys, but you understand I have to be careful in case I've got realtors trying to get hold of me. I'm certain you can understand that. Just hold on a second. Right. So your speed is the right speed for you, and the way you do it is important. So what I did was I listened to what Jody was saying about fasting. Hi, Kimmy. And I don't know why. I was really scared when I heard about Jody fasting, because it goes against everything that I know. I understood that if you're diabetic, you needed to eat very regularly. So fasting went against that. And I know that Jody is, amongst all the other things going on, also is diabetic. So why was she fasting? That's counterintuitive to me. It's that's like that goes against what the learning is. But, I was prepared to look at it and see whether it made any sense. And I want to tell you that fasting for 17 hours feels really comfortable for me. I know this sounds really strange. And, if you told me that, yes, intermittent fasting, if you told me that I needed to fast for 17 hours, I would panic. But, it's amazing. You sleep, first of all, you sleep for, hopefully about 7 or 8 hours of that. So then it's only another 7 or 8 hours after that. So I've sort of got into the habit where I stop eating about 11 o'clock at night. When I say stop eating, my last snack will be about 11 o'clock at night. And then I don't eat again until about 5 or 6 in the evening, depending on, what's going on in my life. Today, I will eat probably a little earlier because of the broadcast, the second broadcast. And I want to make sure that I've, had time for my food to digest before I do the second broadcast. But, it is amazing. And what I've noticed is, Jody, and I've got to say that whilst I've been doing the fasting, my need for carbs, for bread, pasta, whatever, has diminished. My problem was that I still had a craving for certain sugars, particularly ice cream at night. So then I said to myself, okay, fine, what am I going to do about that? Because obviously this is a habit that I need to break. And so what I did is I actually went to the store. And, some of you can imagine me doing this. And I'm standing at the ice cream section and I'm taking out every single thing that's in the ice cream section. And I'm checking what damage will this ice cream do to me. And eventually I came across the real fruit popsicles. And they were only 30 calories. As opposed to 130 for the ice cream that I've been having. So you understand, that's a huge saving right there. And I could actually, I could actually have quite a handful of those and still be the same as one of those ice creams. And sometimes I had 2 ice creams at night. So I'm going, okay, fine, I found an alternative. Now, the other thing that you learn when you're doing this, and by the way, Lauren, for those of you who know Lauren's been doing the keto diet, and she's been having incredible results with that. And Jody is on that as well to a very large degree, right, Jody? But, I'm a rebel, so, I'm not going to do keto. But what I've noticed is I've started to play with it. In other words, I was having some chicken last night, and I wanted to have some sort of crispy outside to it, almost like not a batter, but I wanted to have a little, I should try that next time. And so, yeah, Jody's flirting with keto. Yeah, I think I'm doing that as well. So what I did was I actually did buy some almond flour, made from almond nuts. And I decided I would roll the chicken cubes in the almond flour and then grill them on a pan. When I say grill them, actually fry them, dry fry them. And I was quite surprised how tasty that was. It was like the chicken had this almond flour to it, so that it was a little bit crunchy, because I let it burn a little bit, not burn, but, really get quite crunchy. And I'm going, I'm actually going to make a batter next out of the almond flour and then drench the chicken in that and see how that tastes. Because almond flour has far less bad stuff to it than real flour. What do you eat in a keto diet? Oh gosh, Kimmy, that's saying, what's the meaning of life? A keto diet basically is one that doesn't have carbs in it. I think that would be the easiest thing to say. You eat a lot of fruit, vegetables, berries, not all fruits, but berries. It's not an all meat diet. No, not at all. It's very low carb. You just Google keto diet, and there's so much on it right now. But the thing is, what I am doing, and Manon, this is just so that you know, what I am doing is I am trying to swap things out one at a time. In other words, I knew that my problem area was late at night. So then, as Jody will tell you, I went looking for what can I eat late at night that is better, not perfect, but better than what I have been eating. Does that make sense? One step forward. And what I did is I found a big bag of popcorn, right? Pre-made popcorn. And I looked at all the stuff on there, and actually popcorn is very good for fiber. And so I went, fiber late at night is a good thing for me, because I'm trying to get my system flushing better. So maybe I should try that. So I bought the big bag, and I brought it home, and I put it into baggies about this big. All right. So that is when the last thing I eat at night is my little bag of popcorn. I don't eat a tub of it. I eat a bag of it. And I'm allowed to have I also allow myself 5 Scotch mints a day. Now, that's my little treat. If I feel I'm really having a sugar need, I will go and get a Scotch mint. And quite often I will keep those Scotch mints to have while I watch a program on television. So, to me, it's about, I don't want to hear I can't have anything. I want to know that I chose not to have it. So I'm trying to do it one step at a time. What is the next swap I want to do? I've been using Truvia instead of sugar for probably 3 years now. And quite honestly, the only time I use sugar today is when I have guests and they use it, right? They use it for their coffee or whatever. I just don't use Truvia and don't use sugar anymore. I use Truvia. I will use it at Christmas time if I'm baking for Christmas stuff, but other than that, no. And by the way, I will say this, Kimmy, and for those of you, eating a keto diet is actually more expensive. as anything that is healthy is more expensive, right? Eating healthily is more expensive than fast food. So what I do is I try and find cost-effective ways of doing that. Yeah, thank you, Manon. Manon's saying it's good that you're finding some substitutes. Yes, that is something that I really realized. Now, Manon, you have totally spoiled me now about olive oil. For those of you who don't know, Manon came to visit Canada and I got to spend about 48 hours with her, maybe a bit more. And, she turned out, I didn't know it, but she really is a great resource on olive oils. And so ever since that visit, Manon, you have totally spoiled me for olive oil, because now I realized that olive oil has a lot of health benefits to it. And so now I make all my own salad dressing. And now I'm busy looking at, that oil and vinegar together, obviously is a very nice dressing. But did you know that cumin, cumin, has great health properties to it? And I've had cumin in my salad dressing for probably 10 years. When I make my own salad dressing, I nearly always use oil, vinegar, a little bit of cumin, and a little drizzle of honey, and I shake it all up in a bottle, and it's so good. I really recommend it. But I found out recently that cumin is really good for you. But then I go, okay, fine, what else do I know is really good for me? Chia seeds, right? So I bought a little quantity of chia seeds at the store. And now what I do is into my salad dressing goes cumin and chia. So once a day, I have a handful of salad. I make a big batch that lasts me about 2-3 days. But then I just put my hand in, I get a handful of salad, and I cover it with the olive oil, the vinegar, the cumin, all those sort of things, right? So that I know once a day I'm having this health food meal. The other thing is I start my day, in other words, when I break my fast, that's what breakfast is about. When I have breakfast, I break my fast with a juice that I make. And the juice is, yes, turmeric. I was about to talk about that, Manon. I break my fast. And I do that with a mixture of Metamucil, with 3 prunes, with carrots, and either an apple or an orange. And I just blend that all into one smoothie that I chug-a-lug. But in there, just so that you know, Manon, I mix up turmeric, ginger, and black pepper in suspension. I have it in some filtered water, and I just shake it up and then pour that in there as well. So it's not overwhelming, but it's in there. All right. And by the way, I throw in a slice of lemon, because lemon is antiseptic as well, and it's good for you. So what I'm doing, I'm not seeing dramatic results yet. I've got to be quite honest. But I must say that I am noticing things. For example, the psoriasis on my hand, touch wood, has not been evident now for how long? Probably 3 months. And I had real problems with psoriasis especially on my left hand. And I have not seen that with all the stress that's going on and everything. I haven't seen any psoriasis on my hands in 3 months. What else? Let me see what else. That I noticed. Just hold on a second, because I know I kept a note of this. Because what we did, hang on a second. Oh, yeah. What I did notice is that I'm holding the weight now in my stomach. It's like, it actually, I do believe that it is beginning to shift, but it's all ending up in my stomach. So I'm hoping that will start moving. That's why I'm concentrating at the moment with how do I get my stomach emptying better, because I'm pretty certain. Yeah, I want to say that Manon, it was really funny. You probably didn't realize what an incredible impact you had on me in that very short space of time. The fact that I felt I had known you forever was the greatest gift you could give me, right? It really was the greatest gift, because when I met Manon, it was like she was a long-lost friend that I hadn't seen for 10 years. It wasn't somebody I'd never met or whatever. It was just a case of we needed to catch up. That was, do any of you know that feeling? It's like, it doesn't matter how long you're away from somebody. It's like when you meet them again, you just carry on where you left off. And that was what it was like meeting Manon. And I thought that was, an incredibly important thing for people to know about Manon, because she really is very funny, as I think a lot of you know. She has an incredible sense of humor, and to be funny in another language is difficult. But Manon does it beautifully. The other thing is she is a wealth of knowledge. Right. So Manon is saying about olive oils, there are different origins for the olives. So therefore the olive oil is different. Yes, I would imagine that you've got, whether you might have olives from Greece or you might have them from North America, not North Africa. I would think because of the sun content and so forth, the taste would be different. So definitely we appreciated all that we learned that time. I still have the 2 little containers you gave me, Manon. She bought me 2 very special olive oils, one with a basil in it and the other with mandarin in it. And I just keep them for very special times when I want to treat myself. And I just go, hi, Manon, and just drizzle a little bit on. But, they're going to last me a long time because I refuse to use them up. Except when I really it's like comfort food for me. Okay, this is Manon Day. Yes, the sun. Yes, it's like grapes. All right. It's so funny. Have you heard people talk about grapes and saying, well, this was grown on the south slope and you're going, like, it makes a difference. Yes, it does. Right. Whether a grape is on the south slope of a hill or the north slope makes a difference. And so therefore, I'm pretty sure with olives, the same would apply. Not only where is the sun, in terms of where it is in the sky, but you understand that Greece is higher than North Africa. So North Africa will get more sun than Greece will. Therefore, it will have a different sugar content, I would think, Manon. Am I correct in that? But the sun will trigger sugar content. Huh, interesting. Why did I come up with that one? Kimmy, if you're getting scam calls, stop answering your phone. That's what I would do. And, that's what we have caller ID for. Just don't answer a telephone call that you don't recognize the number. I find that if I'm, unfortunately, my last name begins with A. That means I get a lot of scam calls. So to me, it's just like, right, you block them when you can. But, the same scam company's got 500 different telephone numbers. So, you're going to have to block all 500 of them. So what I do is if I've, getting more than 1 or 2 scam calls in a week, then I just stop answering my calls. And I know that people who know me will leave a message. And that's all I'm interested in. If you don't want to leave a message, I really am not interested. Okay, so Manon is saying it also depends when you harvest the olives. Yes, that would make sense as well. How ripe are they when you harvest them? Do you harvest them early in the season or late in the season? I would imagine would make a difference as well. So now then, Manon told me that what you need to look for, and Manon, just help me on this one if I get it wrong, is you remember, I think we did a broadcast together while we were both together, is there's a little label on the front, like a badge, all right? So when you're looking for olive oil, look for the badge. Shall I get some examples? Hold on a second. Okay, Manon, you're going to have to help me here because I haven't got my glasses here. Where is the badge on this one? Just so that we can understand it. This is one of the good ones that she bought me. It's got to be a badge on it. Oh, is it for the vinegar that has the badge? I thought it was the oil. Huh. Okay. Now then, the interesting thing is that the smaller the container, Jody, I think we talked about this one, but the smaller the container, the chances are the better the olive oil. For example, if you buy olive oil like this, the chances are it's not very high grade olive oil. If you buy this at a halfway decent price, right? But I would imagine that Manon probably paid more for this than this. On the oil, you have to check cold press. And if there is an expiration date, okay, that's very interesting. All right, so my El Cheapo, oh, it has an expiration date. This is my cheap one and it has an expiration date. Of course, I can't read what it is. May the 20th, 2020. Does that mean even if I've opened it? Or once I've opened it, how long before it goes rancid? By the way, you know something though, but this is where I find this really interesting. So that's why I want to share it with you. By the way, I need to get some more because you can probably see this is, you see that it's right down here. And I would hate to have to use my good stuff for my salads. So I find that really interesting. So Manon, once you've opened olive oil, how long before it goes off? And am I correct, olive oil should not be kept in the fridge? All right, so even if you opened it, the expiration date is even if you've opened it. I would have thought by opening it, you would have shortened its life considerably. But what do I know? How much is olive oil in Canada? It depends what grade. Hang on a second, let me see. You hold on a second, I will tell you how much I paid for that. In the meantime, Oh, it is cold pressed. How about that? How about that? Okay. Okay, so this is, all right, it says for half a liter, which is, you have to do the conversion into American for that. But for half a liter, it is about $7. So this was a liter that I bought. Let me see if they have the liter size. Yeah, I think I paid about $15, would ring a bell with me. But what you're looking for, yeah, I would say about 15 for this size. But it also has lasted a while. All right, so Manon is saying about the expiration date, all right? But the expiration date, usually, if it is a good one, is going to have all the benefits for at least a year after you've opened it. Wow, that is awesome. 2 years maximum for her taste. Yes, olive oil does go off, so be careful. So what you need to buy is the size dependent on how much you use it. Because I have salads every day, I have a bigger one. And by the way, Manon, just so we know, balsamic vinegar versus regular vinegar or apple cider vinegar. Do you have any input on that? Because I'm certain a lot of people have wondered about that. I only use balsamic vinegar in my salads, and I just love the taste of it. And the other thing is, my greatest treat used to be to have balsamic vinegar and olive oil and dunk bread in it. Oh, 2 years after it was put in the bottle is the life of it. Okay. Okay, so that will be the expiration date. Okay, got it. So this must have therefore been bottled about a year when I bought it. Okay, sounds good. Thank you, Manon. So when you're ready, do you have information on vinegars? And do any of you take apple cider vinegar? And if so, does it work? I see a lot of stuff on the internet about apple cider vinegar, but I'm wondering whether it's all just hype. Yeah, balsamic vinegar uses a part of the grape. Yes, it is a grape vinegar rather than. And funny enough, that again depends where that grape is. You see a lot of balsamic vinegar from Medina, if I'm correct on that one. I think my balsamic vinegar that I buy, I try and buy one that comes from Medina for some reason. All right, so Kimmy said she tried it, but it tasted so bad you didn't. How long did you take it for, Kimmy? All right, so I've got to find out what that means. Hang on a second. Mou de raisin. Hang on, I've got to do a translation on that. I don't know what mou is. I will find out in a heartbeat. That's what we have translated for us. Come on, where's my translator? Mou is must. That's interesting. So I was correct, right? That Medina those are the best balsamic vinegars. It has to come from Medina. Yeah, it does for me too, Manon. I don't know why. It's just like whenever I buy a balsamic, I'm looking where does this originate? By the way, I don't look for that's what it's called. I look for where did it come from? You look for the place of origin on the bottle. And that's what I look for. Did it come from Italy? It didn't come from Spasm and they just called it, Medina. All right, so Kimmy's saying it's supposed to get rid of bad stuff, toxins in your body, right? I love balsamic vinegar, yes. I definitely do. And good olive oil and balsamic vinegar just alone is a wonderful snack. I'm like when I actually want to start, I allow myself 2 slices of small slices of sourdough. So it ends up about that much. And I allow myself 1 slice a day. And I think one of the days I'm going to start going back to having oil and vinegar because it just tastes so good with good bread, But it was really funny because when I look at the very short time that Manon and I spent together, I don't know about you, Manon, but it felt like it was so much longer. It felt like we were we'd been on a field trip for about a month. And we packed in quite a lot in a very short space of time. And all right, so the apple cider vinegar has balancing effects on the blood sugar and helps fat burning, apparently. Okay, so good reason to have it. So maybe it'd be an idea. Now, why only apple cider vinegar? Why not balsamic vinegar? That would be my question. So anybody want to Google that quickly for me? Why does apple cider work better than balsamic vinegar? Because to me, vinegar is vinegar. No, because apple vinegar would be different from grape vinegar. Oh, different too. Okay, yeah, that makes sense. All right, I'm sort of getting answers in my head while I speak. Oh, that's interesting. You're saying you could feel the warmth between Sal and Manon in the vlogs that we posted. Yeah, so lovely. Yeah, and Manon's saying it was like I only spent a few days with Sal. I just can hear her saying, and it did not feel that way. Yeah, that's right. It felt like it was much longer. It was, and she has this incredible way of saying, "You're welcome." It was just like, I'd say, "Thank you for doing it." "You're welcome." Those words still resonate in my mind. I can hear her every now and then. I do something and I go, "You're welcome." So, all right. And because we've got half an hour to go, I just wondered, does anybody have any questions on the dream side? And has anything strange happened to you this week that maybe you need to be a bit more aware of, right? In other words, did anything mess with your routine this week? Like my car suddenly decided to give me a heads up that it's time for a service, which it is, by the way. But can you see the analogy of, it had to do something. You're welcome. I know. It's so cute. Well, Manon, I want to tell you, you definitely, the word that if I had one word to describe you, I would say impact, right? You really impacted my life in a very short space of time. I knew you would. I was pretty sure you would. I was pretty sure. I did not actually expect you to be as patient as you are. That to me was amazing. You're very patient. You need to be around me. Plus, I found you very flexible, right? It was just like very, very willing to do whatever. You would be fun to go camping with. And so, yeah, it's interesting, isn't it? I don't know why. I just wasn't surprised. The only thing that surprised me was the level to which. Okay, here we go. I knew Jody had a look for me. Okay. She said, I think it may be partly due to the probiotics found in the mother of apple cider vinegar, Sal. I think most apple cider vinegars include the mother in the bottle, such as Bragg's. Oh, interesting. Okay, why don't we do a bit of research on that? All right. So it's a bit like the yeast. Would it be the yeast? Yes. I want to say Pascal, but that's not his name. Hang on a second. Anyway, Manon has a boyfriend, people. You were patient. Yes, I think you are. Surprisingly so. For such a dramatic person, you are incredibly patient. But I think actually the word to describe you is joy. You know what I mean? It's like everything you do is very joyful. Mother Teresa would have really enjoyed you, right? Because everything you do is with a level of joy. You are very easy to be around. And it's funny because I was busy thinking what to do with my brother while he is in Canada this time. And I was thinking of taking him on that foodie trip that you did, because I'm certain he would enjoy that. He has to go into Vancouver on the last night to stay there because the train leaves very early in the morning. And, it was just like, I thought, I really should get him that foodie trip that you did in Gastown. Because it sounded, it really did sound interesting. Yeah, do the food tour. Can you remember, just if you can write to me, Manon, if you can remember which food tour it was? Yeah, I was looking last night. Yeah, that was awesome. Yeah. Isn't it funny? You need somebody to come visit your town to find out there is an unbelievable food tour that goes on that, for anybody that likes good food. And I want to tell you something. I still have memories of that egg encrusted with, that would be very keto. That would be very keto because it was a boiled egg, a partially boiled egg that had then been wrapped in bacon fat. What do you call it? Jody. Pork rinds. Okay. And I say Jody because I know Jody eats them. All right. So it was then encrusted with pork rinds and then re-fried again. Oh, it was unbelievably tasty. And the egg was still a little bit runny. It was just like perfect. I could have had a couple of those. And very keto friendly. The egg was amazing. Yes, absolutely. Thank you so much. It was a memory that I will, hold amongst many others. Yeah. Yeah. So I was just thinking it's very keto friendly because it's the protein of the egg and then the pork rinds are also keto friendly, apparently. Huh. All right. So Kimmy, basically what you're doing with the keto is cutting out carbs almost completely. And you'll be amazed what that cuts out. I mean, that's the scary thing. So basically you're eating meat and salads, meat and vegetables, but no potatoes, no pastas, no bread, no whatever. And what I'm busy playing with at the moment is playing with almond flour to see if I can make almond flour bites. For those of you who know Marmite, I'm actually mixing almond flour and Marmite to make tasty bites for myself because almond flour you can have. It's very keto friendly, not real flour, not wheat flour. So, I'm going, okay, if I can have almond flour, how many things can I make with it? I don't care how expensive it is if it can help me. Yeah. So I think, what the point that I want to make, Manon, is that I don't think I'm shifting weight as fast as I would like, but I do feel that the weight is shifting. All right. I feel actually what I want to do is start taking specific measurements now and see, is it shifting from week to week? And this, you must remember, I'm not exercising. If I went out and exercised, it would be even better. Now, the other thing that I wanted to mention to Jody is that that I was having problems with my back, after I climbed over my car, I think. But I was having problems with my back. So I pulled out my massager. I've got a heat and massaging pad. And do I feel better? Yes, I definitely feel better. And my psoriasis is gone. But Jody, here's something that I wanted to mention to you. When I finished massaging my back, I thought, something, I'm going to start massaging my feet and my thighs and my calves. In other words, when I go to bed at night, I'm going to start with putting my feet on the massager and let it massage my feet to see if it helps my edema that I've got. I've got that water retention in my feet. And then, do my calves, that's on the lower leg, and then do my thighs, and then my lower back, and then my mid back, and then, just literally every night do that whole progression and massage the whole of my back from my feet all the way up to my neck. Because I believe, and I hope I'm right in that will help stimulate a lot of things. And by the way, for a while, I held it on my stomach. And just went, okay, fine, maybe that will help as well. It's like I am doing whatever I can think of, that can help me just do a little better. The other thing, for those of you who have weight issues, two things I wanted to mention to you. Number one is I've started making a point of every day finding a chair. I find a chair and I hold the back of it, and then I take my one leg and put it on the chair. And I stand like that for about 10 seconds, and then I lean, stretching my glutes and everything, and then stand up again. And then I put that leg down and put the other leg up. Now, you're probably wondering, what's the big deal? Do you know that when I started doing it, I could not get my one leg up onto the chair? My hips had, for some reason, stopped having that much strength that I could lift up my legs. So is it my hips? What lifts your legs? Those muscles. Yeah, but it includes my hips, especially on my left leg. And so now I am doing that. The other thing is, one of the things that you notice if you've got a bit of extra weight is cleaning your feet becomes more difficult, right? Because you've got the extra weight. What I have started doing is to realize that when I'm in the bathroom, I put the lid down on my toilet, and then I put my foot up onto the toilet and then dry between my toes. You don't realize it, but that brings your foot halfway up to you. All right. So I thought I'd just mention that because it's one of those little tricks that you go, does anybody else have that problem? Because if I've got that problem, maybe other people have. I started also, literally when I was sitting on the toilet, I'd start cleaning my toes. And I thought, I want to strengthen my leg muscles. So I'm going to do it and just, put the lid down and then put my foot up. By the way, whenever I do anything like that, I make sure I've got something solid to hold on to in case I overbalance, because I realize my muscles are not strong. But by lifting up the one leg, you're putting a lot more pressure on the other one that's, holding you. And so that's building up muscle strength there. Plus, you are using, I'm obviously stretching a lot of different muscles and my hips to get my leg up that high. But literally the first couple of days, I had to lift my leg up that high. I couldn't do it on my own. Yesterday, I actually did manage to get both legs up onto the chair, not at the same time, people. But I did manage to get both legs up. Get one leg up, wait, stretch, wait, bring it down. And I'm trying to build on that, because obviously leg strength is going to be a very important part of my life from this point onwards. Core strength. I think that's what it's called, right? Because that's going to keep me mobile. And so I'm looking at different ways of doing that. Now, the other thing was, for those of you with diabetes, I had an issue this last week. And I can't remember what I had, but one day my blood sugar went sky high, went into the double digits. And I, instead of panicking, I just went, okay, fine. I need to get some serious control going. And what I did was I said, okay, fine, for the next few days until my blood sugar drops back down, I'm going to do everything I can to eat around 1,000 calories a day, not more. Just because that will have to cut out an awful lot of the bad stuff. And, that's what I've been doing. And I think what I wanted to say is the thing that my doctor was interested in when I was there last time. Let me see if I can show you this. Right. The thing that my doctor really commented on was that he knew that I was telling the truth by the fact that my journey wasn't just all going down, that I had these blips in it. And he kept asking me what happened here. And I could tell him, why did you suddenly overeat here? I could tell him. And he said, good. He said, not only do you know what's causing you to overeat, but also you know how to correct it. And then if you think about it, that knowledge is power, right? Because now I know I can have a bad week of overeating, and yet I know I've just got to spend a bit more time getting that back under control again. I think in a way it's giving up smoking all over again, except I haven't cut out all the cigarettes in this one. You know what I mean? Like when you give up smoking, you need to cut out cigarettes completely. But what I'm trying to do is to find, a nice, comfortable lifestyle where I know what I can eat and not be in trouble. And then when I want to treat myself, I know I'm going to be in trouble, but I can correct it. That's what I'm interested in. I don't know about the rest of you. So Kimmy, you're saying that you need to build some muscle strength, right, in one of your legs. I think probably in both, because if you've got a problem with one of them, the other one has been taking more than its fair share. And that's what you also need to think about. I very seriously was about to go to a chiropractor because my back was so bad. I really had problem getting into the car. I couldn't lift my leg up. I have a big Jeep, so you have to lift your legs up quite a way. I nearly couldn't get into my car. And that scared me. I mean, I could have gone on the running board, but whoever uses that, right? But, it was interesting. And that's where I realized I'm probably going to have to go to a chiropractor to get my back sorted out. And I thought, before I do that, let me really spend some time on that massage machine of mine and just see if it helps. And it did. I want to tell you, it helped literally within a couple of hours. I literally had it on for a couple of hours on certain sections of my back, and the next morning I could lift my leg again. So, for a $20 massage machine, not a bad idea. By the way, the Jeep is the size of a bus. I know, I'm going to miss that. I assure you that it was perfect size when I had a German Shepherd in it, You know, you didn't want anything smaller than that with a German Shepherd in the back. You know what I mean? It was just... But it's a comfortable bus. You know something, I genuinely will miss my Jeep. You know, it's just like I have driven that thing for 20 years and I still love it. I didn't think I would like a Jeep at all, but I want to tell you, it's a very cute bus, yes. Your car is so tiny. Yes, what have you got, Manon? Have you got one of those Fiat marshmallows? I call them the marshmallow because it looks like one. I got to ride in one once. I rented it. And I just went, it's like riding around in a marshmallow. It was a little white thing. It was just like, so cute. So I just, before we finish this, I want to make sure we just get this back into the package, which is be aware of your awareness. All right. So the fact that something breaks in your house, a Twingo, I've never heard of Twingo. Huh. What on earth is a Twingo? It must be a European something. Who makes it, Manon? It sounds like a smart car, what we call a smart car. Twingo car. Okay, people, I'm about to show you. Hopefully. Yeah. Made by Renault. There you are. That's exactly what it looks like. It's another marshmallow. Now everybody knows. It's a cute little thing. Yeah. Would probably fit in my front seat. Now, Renault, for those of you who watch old movies, Renault made the deux chevaux, as they called it, the 2 horsepower, the deux chevaux, which was like, it was like a toy car, you know, and you see it a lot in old French movies. And, you know, it's just like I always thought they had to pedal them. You know what I mean? It was, I think, even smaller than a VW. Oh, this one that I just showed you is the new one. You have the older model. Well, it's very cute. And you know, the thing is this, would you agree, Manon, and that was what I was talking about awareness, is that what a car is, what does a car mean to you? Jody, for you, a car or a van, all right, is more than freedom. For you, it is relief, all right, because it is what brings you relief, because you need those wheels so that you can get your pain medicine and stuff like that. So, you know, and so therefore to you, I think even if you have to rent one, that a car to you is more than freedom. It is almost vital. All right. And, you know, I thought about that day where they bought the van that didn't have the proper lift for you, the automatic lift, you know, that was safe for you. And, you know, when I was thinking about that, Jody, I was thinking about this actually challenged your psyche, because you had to make a decision. Do I want to get my pain meds? Am I prepared to take this risk of possibly rolling off the side of this just so I can get the pain medicine? All right. And, you know, it was interesting because the pain medicine was more important to you. Yes, to Manon, you see, her car was more than freedom. Her car was freedom, but also it was an incredibly important self-confidence builder because everybody said that she couldn't pass her driver's test, and she ended up battling to do it, but she did it. I'm so proud of you for that, Manon. You know that because I've talked to you about that. Yeah. It's also, interesting. It was also the beginning of her communication with her father. That is interesting. That was the one thing that you two could talk about. Isn't that wonderful, Manon? Yeah. So, I think that's why I say to you that be aware what certain things mean to you. For me, I knew that the difference between an apartment and a manufactured home was freedom for me. An apartment feels claustrophobic to me. I Manon will tell you, I have a lot of space and a lot of light in my space. So to me, to be in a dark environment would be horrific. The other thing is that when I look out of my windows, I see trees, all right, because I'm on the first floor of my house. Yvonne lives on the ground floor, but I don't see road or traffic or anything. I just see trees at the front and trees at the back. And so when I go looking at places and I start looking at car parks or dumpsters or whatever, I'm going, I don't want to be looking at them. Interesting, Manon saying that she needs to sell her car because there are too many repairs to do. Yeah, I do love light. Yeah. And I have skylights as well. It's just like, both my bathrooms have skylights. My kitchen has a skylight. It's like, I wonder why that is that I think because it's Canada, and Canada is inclined to get pretty dark for 9 months of the year. And I just, every little bit of light I can get, I want to bring it in. And so therefore, that's why, to me, a manufactured home where I've got windows on all sides is going to be a lot better for me than somewhere that's, I don't have room to move. So we're going to do some research into vinegars a little bit more and see what we can find out. But the big aha moment for me this week was I can put the right things into my body by little changes, right? I can start the day with some prunes, some carrot, some apple or orange for taste, and some Metamucil because that's good for my system. I start my day, celery, and a stick of celery. All right. And I just mush that all up, and that's how I start my day. So, think about that. What can you do just to help? The other thing is you don't have to go totally keto diet. What you might want to do is what I'm doing is say, okay, fine. What meals can I do that are keto? I can have lunch, which is salad with or without meat. I can have salad with boiled egg. That would be totally keto. I can have salad with bacon, would be keto. You know what I mean? I can have salad with chicken or whatever. So I try to get what I call the good food in first. And that's how I do it. But I do allow myself one slice of sourdough a day. And I actually have basil made from olive oil rather than anything else. So even my butter is made from olive oil. What happened to the house that I was getting? It's still on the market, thank goodness. But unfortunately, the buyer for my house, that deal fell through. So, I need my house to sell before I can buy the other one. I want to tell you something, Manon. One of the greatest tricks that I learned is I will buy a pack of bacon. I will cook the whole lot on one day. I buy a big pack and I cook the whole lot, and I just put it between paper towels until all the grease has come off it, and then I freeze it. And so anytime during the month, it lasts me sometimes, well over a month. Anytime I want anything with bacon, I just pull out a rasher or two. And it's already pre-cooked. I just need to warm it up. So I can put it into an omelet. I can crumble it. I can cut it up. I can just use it instantly. I don't have to cook bacon. It's already cooked. So it's a much cheaper way of doing it as well. It's amazing. And I started doing that, I think, when I got the halogen oven. Yeah, I actually do it on my barbecue. I just fire up my barbecue and I cook the whole lot. And it probably takes me 3 lots to do the whole thing, but it lasts me, you can do that. And it freezes beautifully. And you can just pull it out of the freezer and it will be, I am genius, you're right. No. And so are you for recognizing it. Yeah. Jody would say that it is stealth. Jody has this word for me, and it's about, it's a stealth idea. But I want to tell you, it works. It really does work. You do it as well now, Jody. Yeah. Yeah, because, bacon, do I separate the slices when I freeze them? No, you don't need to. And I think because I make sure that I get as much fat as possible off it. It's amazing how much fat comes off, even after it's come off the barbecue. I have a barbecue mat on my barbecue, Manon. But, even when it comes off there, I find that the amount of fat that gets absorbed by the paper towels is scary, quite honestly. The other thing is, I must admit that I do have one small jar in my fridge that is bacon fat. I do keep one small jar of bacon fat because, for example, when I'm cooking chicken or something, I just take a teaspoon of bacon fat, which I know is not good for me, but I don't really mind. It just gives such great flavor. So, which is what I did last night. 1 teaspoon of bacon fat. And I just rolled all the chicken in it with the almond flour, and it was really good. My big challenge at the moment, and I need some help on that, is to stop putting things into my freezer. I am trying very hard not to freeze anything more, because I need to empty those freezers. I did really well, and I've started filling them up again. It's just like, okay, get back to emptying them out. All right, everybody. So I hope this made you a bit more aware of being more aware and staying in awareness of what's going on around you. I think that life has an interesting way of giving you little reminders or wake-up calls or hints as to what you might want to do. I found it really interesting that in that big sleep that I had such an amazingly interesting dream with so many different parts to it. And yet I think almost all the parts were very positive, which was nice to hear. And so, as I keep trying to say to people, if you dream about death, don't think that means you're going to die. It may be the death of an idea or the death of a dream or something else. It's like, just make sure that you don't jump to conclusions on doing the dream stuff. I want to thank Jody so much and Lauren for encouraging me to do this particular broadcast. I hope that some of you found it of interest, and that you could see that my subconscious is busy feeding me information if I care to look at it. And that's what a dream is. You will probably have heard that many inventors, many mathematicians, many people have found answers to the most difficult problems in dreams. They literally, you hear people say, let me dream on that. Let me sleep on that. And what that means is, let me give my subconscious mind a chance to have a look at that. Jody, I'm glad that you found it fascinating, but the reason I wanted to share it is so that you guys can see how one dream can contain so many different parts, how numbers matter, colors matter, the people in your dream matter, whether you know them or not matters, whether they are male or female matters. You know, it all is part of the big jigsaw puzzle. And, you know, when you can see that, it gets very, very interesting. And I hope that you will start looking at them, because you'll be quite surprised what your dreams tell you about what is really going on inside your mind. You know, whether you really are happy, whether you really are in a place of serenity or not. So Manon, thank you so much for spending the time. It must be 10 or 11 o'clock at night where you are. It's really great to know that you are here. Actually, maybe more. What time is it, Manon? That is so cute. So Manon is saying to Jody, thank you for keeping an eye on this lady. She's doing a great job, Manon. She's really helping me understand a lot of things. Jody, like you, has an amazing mind and amazing information. Yeah, that's what I thought, 10 or 11 o'clock. Yeah, 11. So you're in summertime, of course. So to me, it's like we all have gifts to share. And be aware of that. You know, I might have some knowledge on this side, but Jody has knowledge on this side. You know, Lauren has other knowledge. Manon has, you know, incredible knowledge on things. You know something, Manon? I just love you to bits. And I consider one of the greatest gifts I ever got from doing DearMamaSal was getting to meet Manon. And the greater gift was to find out she was exactly as I imagined her. You know something? Manon's wanted to know if I got some sort of micro camera in her teeth that I could tell the hour. No, Manon, I just do know that you are about 8 or 9 hours ahead of me, depending on daylight saving times and things, you know. So keep up the good work, Manon. We'd love to hear more about your love life, please, because, you know, we're nosy. And we love to hear that you're happy. And we're glad that you found the pink dolphins. I don't know why, when I saw that, I just burst out laughing and I went, okay, I know who needs this. And isn't it amazing that the pink dolphin had a baby pink dolphin? It's just like, how cute was that? You know, a pink dolphin is in itself totally rare, but to have actually spawned another pink dolphin was just amazing to me. And I thought, you know, Manon will be really happy that the color lives on. You know? And I can see, you know, a time, Manon, hopefully in your lifetime, where there is a whole pod of pink dolphins swimming together for you. So magical. Yeah. I am the best. No, but I am who I am. And it's a pleasure to know you all. Thank you all for being part of my life. It's amazing. I'm hoping that these broadcasts do help you a little bit. And if so, please leave a note in the comments so that I know that I should continue to do them. Even these strange ones about dreams, for example. All right. And for those of you who are busy following me in my dream is to become overweight. I am currently obese and I want to become overweight. That is my goal for the first, little bit. And so, it's like, this is a really big, I got a long way to go, people, but I'm going to do it. So big hugs to you all. I bought the tape measure. I'm definitely a step closer to reality. No more messing about. Got the scale, got the tape measure, and now the process is really seriously underway. All right, everybody. So this is DearMamaSal saying thank you so much for being here. Thank you for helping one another. But most of all, please, 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 remember to look after yourself, as I am trying to do. Remember that to keep all the other stuff out. Stay at peace with yourself. Understand that you are okay just as you are, and that you don't have to become things that you don't want to be. This is DearMamaSal saying, be aware, have more awareness. Bye-bye for now.